I'm going to be adding a little bit of the All Nutrient Motion Plus on Kylie's hair, and I've just got some in my hand. I'm going to work it through because Kylie has a lot of hair, and the texture of her hair is a little bit rough, although our hair color will smooth it out quite a bit. So I'm just working that through before I begin her haircut. Work that through very good. Now this is our high graduation cut. It's longer on the top, shorter on the bottom, with no weight line in between. And that's what distinguishes this one from the low graduation. Just combing all that through, getting it distributed in her hair. Before we part her hair off, let me just show you on the chart. This is graduated on the flat of the head, which would be in this area, graduated from 0 up to 45. Then we take and we make layers, but they're longer at the top and shorter at the bottom. This particular haircut has no weight line in between. So we go from 0 to 45, and then we go over 90, and we make the top longer without a weight line. And that's the distinguishing feature from this. And a lot of times people want their hair a little longer on top, but they really don't like that weight line, and it may not even look good on them. So we have to adapt each haircut for that. Now the way that I'll start Kylie's haircut is here again. You'll always hear me talking about the planes and the rounds of the head. I section off the flat of the head. Now, because of the size of her face, this works every time. Kylie has, of course, a gorgeous face, but she feels like it's a little full here. Well, even with her hair, the flat of her head goes a little higher than it would mostly because of the size of her head. So we section that off and just leave the top out of the way. Same thing on this side. Section off. We're going to do the lower perimeter first. Let's get that established. And I'll do it very similar. She's got a little more hair than I had on the length of the low grad, but we'll just get this hair. Let's get some of this off. Get the thickness off, because remember, this haircut is shorter on the bottom and longer on the top. So we'll remove a little of that hair, the real thickness in that area. Just turn her just a little. And we'll get that weight off in the back area where she really needed it off. And just get that scissor over comb, getting some of that weight off. And I'm going to leave Carly's soft in front of her ear. So I'll just create a line there, lifting it up. And this can really slenderize her overall look by leaving a little of that hair right in the front. So you see, you can adapt each haircut for someone's individual features. Now let's take and go to the other side. This works really well to get this lower perimeter done. And if you would prefer, some people want to do this, okay, and it's okay if you want to do it section by section. On short hair, I just find that it's a little easier just to go right in and establish my length with scissor over comb. Lifting that up keeps that nice and soft. Let's go right behind the ear area. Get that weight off of there, because this is a real distinguishing part about this haircut. This lower perimeter is nice and graduated. Let's go back over the ear once more, taking a little more from the back than I do the front, which leaves me a nice length in this area. Let's take just a little there. I want to be sure that I have some softness coming right down on Kylie's face. Now just coming back and getting a nice soft line in this area. And remember, I'm cutting pure forms. When I finish and I dry her hair out, I will make her hair adaptable for her. Now I like using the neckline. That's why I'm lifting this up and cutting and really going in. I don't like to cut the neckline hair off there usually, but just cutting until I have it exactly what I want. I want to leave that neckline nice and soft. Just cross cut it so there's no bulk there. Now let's come back and we're going to work on the top. The first thing I want to do is I want to establish her hanging length in the front. Let's see where her hair wants to part. And when her hair's dry, I'll give you the formulas for the color, because Kylie, excuse me, not Carly, we left some of her natural. She was a natural redhead. And I'll explain that to you once we get this finished. Now just comb the hair down over the natural fall of the hair. And I'm going to establish the front part, where I want the front. And I do want the front of Kylie's longer. So I'm going to comb down, and we're going to establish the hanging length. Just the hanging length. All around. All the way around. Combing down and over what we've already cut. Just picking this up before we start our layering. Establishing that hanging length. The top of this should be longer and the underneath shorter, and no weight in between. The way that I'm going to take that weight off is we're going to start right at the part area, right where the hair goes. We're going to make some diagonal partings, and we'll just go remove any weight that lies between the top and the bottom. Just right up and down. Just traveling right around the head form. We've got our hanging length, so we're going to bring it right up. This is where we'll remove this weight, in between this piece and this piece at the underneath. And just rotating right around the head form. This will remove the weight, and yet will leave her longer on the top. Kylie works at the bank, so she's got to be looking good every day, greeting all her people, her customers. See, her hair was short in the top and very heavy in this area, so now I have it still longer in the top without any weight on the middle part. Just rotating right around. Now we're going to go drop it down just on the flat of the head, and we're going to connect the top with the bottom, leaving that top the longest part. And I'm doing a little point cutting because her hair is really, it's thick and it's got a little wave to it, but it tends to have a little stubborn streak. So I want to make sure that I don't have any real blunt edges there. So I'm just point cutting, making sure to leave this top longer and the underneath shorter. Let's take just a little, check this out just a little bit. Clean that line up. Now I want to take just a little softer piece right around her ear area, making sure that I've left enough length there. Checking top to bottom. You can see how that weight is lifted off. And let's just cross-check it now. Cross-check this to make sure all the weight is out of here. Little point cutting in there. Connecting both sides together. And that is our little high graduation cut. Longer on the top, shorter on the bottom, with no weight line in between. That's going to be nice on Kylie's hair. Very nice. When we come back, I'll have her all dry. I'll tell you all about her color we did and show you how I'm going to tweak this haircut now that we're finished. We're back with Kylie with her finished high graduation cut, a pure form, which is longer on the top and shorter on the bottom, and no weight line. It is longer, but we don't have a weight line. Remember, from this cut, it was really short here, very short. Once I took off the bulk in the lower perimeter on the flat of the head, it made this look a little longer. And so I went in, and because I did hers a little slightly asymmetric, left it a little longer on one side and the other. But before I finish the cut, let me tell you about her hair color. We have her natural color right up here in the front. And if you'll get in close, Craig, we can really see this. Right in the front, I opted to leave her natural color. Right back, let's tilt your head down. The center section, we did a 6RC in the all-new trend. Then the lower perimeter, we did a 4RC. And this is the Mojave color splashing technique we did. So it makes a transition from her natural all the way back to the 4RC, which really gave it a really pretty look to it. And it enhances her haircut. We want to always do the color to enhance the haircut, always. So you can see the length here. Now I'm going to take a little define and put on No, I'm going to do the Place Cement, excuse me, the All Nutrient Place Cement, and it's just wonderful because we can really play up these pieces. I can make it closer here, just play up the pieces so you can see the color, plays up the haircut. We want to always finish with some type of finishing. And with the Place Cement, you can just go in and you can just piece the little pieces, which plays up the color. Bring a few little pieces out on Kylie's face, which makes it very slenderizing. And I think just the fact that I left her high graduation a little longer and a little bit of an asymmetric look is very slenderizing to her. And you can take the Place Cement and you can go up in here and add some little pieces, and you can make it as much as you want. You know, I'm just adding a little because I really enjoy seeing her color, seeing the shape of her cut, and that is our little high graduation pure form.